going to talk about today is near and dear to our hearts, probably closer to your hearts. And what we're going to talk about is, number one, how can we sit in this room in the near future with a project that looks something like this? Number one. And number two, we want to talk to you about the newest expression of ownership at the Playa del Paraíso, which is going to be what's called the Miranda Residence Club. It is, in your terms, a fractional ownership. We want to explain what it is, how it works, why we think it's going to build momentum in today's economy to get this project built out, and how each and every one of you will have a special opportunity if you are interested. So that's the reason we're going to do this short meeting. I'm going to ask everybody, if you have questions or comments, to please write them down, hold them back. At the end of my presentation, we'll have plenty of time to answer all the questions, all the comments, and all the concerns. Just give me about 15 or 20 minutes to finish my presentation so you can understand the direction. So before I get started, what I'd like to do is I'd like to talk a little bit about Bill and Brian. The Lohr Institute, we are probably the largest company in taking projects like this and completing them, probably in North America. We were the company that was ferreted out by Four Seasons after 2 years of looking for a company to help them with their projects. We did St. Regis, we did Marriott, we do large developers, small developers, medium-sized developers, and this is our expertise, what we're about to talk about. But the reason I want to talk about Bill and Brian is 95% of the developers that we represent have one goal in common. One goal, and that is profitability. If you looked at what was number 2 on the list, it's non-existence. It's profitability 1, profitability 2. What was very refreshing to us at the Lohr Institute was to meet Bill and Brian and realize that these were 2 guys that didn't necessarily have profitability at number 1. Now, let's all hope and pray they're profitable. It's good for all of us. I'm sure they want to be. But I want to tell you this about these 2 guys. In our 8 or 9 months we've worked together, their number 1 reason for doing this, clearly, was a passion. A passion for San Felipe first, a passion to see this development turn into the finest, and I think it will be there, resort on the water in San Felipe, and a passion to see it through. So that was number 1, and I will tell you it's very refreshing to work with guys like this. Just to give you a little bit of their personality, I know they don't know I'm going to talk about this, but today I'm not supposed to be here. I'm not supposed to be here because me and my wife have a wedding tonight in Las Vegas. You haven't heard the rest yet. My wife is a fashion designer and has built over 8 months the bride's dress. We are delivering that dress at the rehearsal party tonight, and the wedding's tomorrow. So, what did I do? I called Brian, Bill, I said, hey guys, I'm going to have someone step in and speak for me. I cannot make it, can't possibly make this. I've got this wedding, my wife would divorce me if I miss this. So, Bill and Brian said this to me, and I want you to listen carefully, because this means a lot to me personally. He said, I appreciate your issue. He says, is there anything we can do, because it's important to us, Bill and Brian, that you speak to the owners and our family and our friends. There is a deep respect for each and every one of you, for your commitment, your patience, and what you've done here. So, through Bill and Brian, through a lot of work, coordination, finagling, cost, they brought me in here this morning. If you see me whisked out in another 2 hours, I'm not leaving because I don't want to be here. I just wanted you to know that I have to make that wedding if I want to keep my wife. So anyhow, those are the kind of guys they are. High passion for the property and a deep respect for each of you, where you stand in this project, and seeing it through to fruition. So here's what I'd like to do now. I'd like to start off with a little bit of the key ingredients. I think this is really important for all of us to understand. How do we get from where we are today to a finished product? Having done this for over 30 years, here are the key ingredients that are important to us and to all of you. Number 1, we believe firmly in support. we are a team. All of us in this room, us as the sales and marketing company, Bill and Brian as the developer, Eric is the on-site marketer. We are all one team. And what that means to us, you may have noticed over the last 6 months, we have been emailing you communications once a month. If you're not getting them, let us know. Once a month, we have a newsletter out there. I have personally picked up the phone and talked to almost all of you in the room. If I haven't talked to you, I've left a message. I am calling each one of the owners. We want to know where you stand on the project, and we want to communicate with you. So number one, we have to be a team and work together. Number two, and we are very big advocates of this, one of the key successes of building out this project is what we call product diversification. In the great markets that we were all in, when products used to sell off the shelf like crazy, if I was here when this project was hot and selling off the market, I would have recommended to Bill and Brian, don't know if they'd have listened to me, but I would have recommended a fractional ownership component, not a timeshare. We're gonna dispel that today and talk about the difference between the two. A fractional ownership product with whole ownership is a healthy thing for a development. Why? It gives you product diversification. It allows the amenities to breathe with monetization so that homeowners' fees don't go up and amenities can survive and thrive in an environment. And it's just the difference between selling a unit to one family or selling a unit to multiple families. And we'll talk about that in just a moment. But diversification, believe me, is a prime thing for us even in a good market. In a turbulent market, it is totally necessary. I think all of you are going to get it when we're done today. The next thing you need is you need committed developers. And I think Brian and Bill obviously came here from a different viewpoint. They came here not from the profitability standpoint. They came here, as Brian said, because they invested like you did. And they were very concerned that this project was not going to survive. And so they stepped in with their money, with their expertise, with their desire, and their commitment to make this project go through. So I think we have a very good developer. As far as a sales and marketing company, I want to tell you just quickly about us. You can go to our website at loreinstitute.com and learn all you want about us. But basically, LORE, if you look up the word in the dictionary, stands for Support, Wisdom, Education. That is what we provide to companies. We were the company that launched Four Seasons into the fractional ownership business. We were the company that launched St. Regis, both whole and fractional. We do believe deeply in whole ownership. We love it, and we think it's a necessary component, and we'll talk more about that in a bit. We were the very first company to sell a timeshare, now I'm not talking fractional now, a timeshare in the state of California. It was San Diego Country Estates in Ramona, California. In 1975, we started it. In 1990, we were pioneers in saying, you know, timeshare is fine, but fractional ownership has to be birthed. It's a different product for a different consumer, marketed differently, and we need it. And we birthed that product up, and as the 90s and then we got into the 2000s came about, that product hooked up beautifully with whole ownership. Whole ownership and timeshare, not that good a match. Whole ownership and fractional, a match made in heaven, and I'm going to show you why in just a moment. So our company, again, our goal is to bring it to fruition. Now, remember this. We do this one phase at a time. We are in phase one now. We are going to, as a team together, us leading the sales and marketing, Bill and Brian development, all of you as support, we're going to sell out the first phase. We'll do it in very quick fashion. As soon as we do that, we move on to phase two, and we'll have a strategy to sell out phase two. Remember something. This is an economic machine as well as it is a beautiful resort. It goes a phase at a time. How quick is it going to be done? As quick as we can move ahead. And today begins the momentum forward. So I really want to talk to you about how that momentum moves forward. Let me give you an idea. I want to talk to you about